Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whichever part of the world you are in. My name is Yusuf Ismail from the South African Debate Initiative based in South Africa. And I'm with my good friend, Brother Mohammed Abu Shraib from the United Kingdom, the Coventry Faith Foundation. He will be in the background this evening. And it is 5:30 in South Africa. It is 3:30, I believe, in the United Kingdom. Of course, if you're in the United States, it'll probably be much earlier, closer to 11 or 12 o'clock, depending which part of the United States you are and what the Eastern Standard Time is. But if you're in South Africa, Central African Time, it is 5:30. This is the regular stream that we are having on the ongoing discussions on Israeli genocide that is taking place. I think last week we discussed and unpacked the report by Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur, on what was happening in the occupied territories, both in Gaza and in the West Bank. And we proved beyond reasonable doubt that there is indeed a genocide taking place. And today, basically, we're going to continue on that stream, and we're probably going to open it up. I want to start off with something that was called for. Today's the 11th of January, but there was a call by Israeli lawmakers for an even more violent, complete cleansing of northern Gaza. So I'm going to share a report that comes from the Haaretz, originally from the Haaretz. Brother Muhammad is with me in the background. I'm going to share a report and go through this report, which essentially shockingly shows that Israeli lawmakers are now calling for an even more violent, complete cleansing of northern Gaza. So if you've got the stream, if you are part of the stream, let me just expand this. For those of you who can see this, Israeli lawmakers call for an even more violent, complete cleansing of northern Gaza. Here's a group of Knesset members who are urging the Israeli military to destroy all sources of water, food, and energy. Here's a group of women that are mourning their relatives who were killed by Israeli bombardment outside the Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in Deir al-Balah in the central Gaza Strip. And here we are receiving the report that at least 7 far-right members of the Knesset, that's Israel's parliament, are calling on the country's defense minister to order the total destruction of northern Gaza's food, water, and energy sources, most of which have already been obliterated by 15 months of relentless attack and the killing of any Palestinian who isn't clearly surrendering to the attackers. In a letter to the Israeli defense minister, Israel Katz, dated December 31st, these lawmakers, they are stating and asserting that the IDF's campaign to forcibly expel Palestinians from northern Gaza, which critics have called ethnic cleansing, according to them, isn't being done properly and is not achieving the war objectives as defined by the government, which is dismantling the Hamas governing and military capabilities. And of course, we've shown that that is totally false. The aim is not to destroy and disable the Hamas military capabilities. The aim is total and complete annihilation of Gaza. Total and utter annihilation of Gaza. That's what the aim is. So these lawmakers have basically gone. They've written a letter to Israel Katz. They've asked, and they're stating that despite all the genocide that you've seen over the past several months, that this is not enough. This is not enough. And according to a translation by the humanitarian law expert Itai Epstein on Thursday, the letter calls on the IDF to, here's it here, destroy all energy sources, including solar, fuel, solar systems, generators, power lines, destroy all food sources, including warehouses, water and water pumps, and lastly, lay siege and remotely kill everyone not flying a white flag of surrender. Imagine that. So if you are not having what they call the white flag, they'll kill you. That's the order. Notwithstanding the fact that in December, their own hostages not December, not December 2024, but December 2023, they had their own hostages, Israeli hostages, that were walking in desperation towards the IDF, holding a white flag, and they were shot dead in cold blood. They were shot dead totally in cold blood. And that last demand basically includes men, women, and children. So the IDF troops would therefore enter. They would gradually, completely cleanse what they would say the enemy's nests. And this is the nutter Itai Epstein, where members of the Israeli Foreign from the coalition Likud write, demanding that he issues all of the above. And this is the Hebrew text. If you can see, let me expand it even further. Here we are. Let me expand this further. You can see this is a Hebrew text. And this Hebrew text, which you have before you in front of your screen, that basically calls for this. That calls for this. Destroying all energy sources, destroying fuel, destroying solar systems, destroying generators, destroying food sources. So what's the aim? Because there are babies there. There are children there. This is evil, satanic as we've called it. And these are the suspects. These are the culprits, lawmakers. These are lawmakers, meaning people in law who signed the letter, and the party affiliations include Avraham Bazazel from the Shas party, Amit Halavi from the current Likud party, Limor Son Har Melech from a party called Jewish Power, Osher Shklim from the Likud party, Zvi Zukot and Ohad Tal from the Religious Zionism party, and Nissim Vaturi from the Likud party. So you've got 1, 2, 3 Likud party members of the present government that's engaging in genocide. And then you've got from the right-wing Shas party, you've got from the religious right, notwithstanding the fact that there are lots of members of the religious right that are within the Likud party. And they're calling for total and utter destruction. Vaturi, this guy here, Nissim Vituri, he's what you would call the deputy Knesset speaker. He's called for Gaza to be wiped off the face of the earth and argued for Israel to stop being humane and burn Gaza because there are no innocents there. This is what he's called for. This was a previous report. This was a report from the El Pais International. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I've just got it there on the stream from the El Pais International website. Wipe Gaza off the face. Statements made by Israeli politicians on which South Africa, that's my country, support its genocide case. This was on the 11th of January, 2024. This is the deputy speaker. The deputy speaker. And the deputy speaker, back then, he was calling for destruction. Now he's saying what Israel is doing is too little. Too little. So according to Israeli Prime Minister, has in recent days called to choose their words, Vaturi on Wednesday reaffirmed his call to wipe Gaza off the face of the earth and added, Gaza must be burned. I stand behind my words. It is better to burn down buildings rather than have Israeli soldiers harmed. There are no innocents there. This was in January 2024 in a radio interview calling for elimination of the estimated 100,000 Palestinians left in northern Gaza. He says, I have no mercy for those who are still there. We need to eliminate them, added Vaturi. The Minister of Finance, that's Smotrich, you've discussed him many times, did not bite his tongue. This was last year. Last Sunday assured that there are 2 million in Gaza, and that's a population of Nazis. And of course, Netanyahu, in more than one speech, referenced Amalek, the enemy of the Israelites. You must remember what Amalek has done to you, says our Holy Bible, and we do remember. it's a reference used by now to the Bible, to 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 3, in which God asks Saul to exterminate based on what Amalek did 400 years before. And that reference basically gets radical religious nationalism. According to the national television, Channel 12 back then, Israel attempted to play down those type of phrases. But you need to, if you want to show genocide, you have to show genocidal intent. And what is this? What is this if not genocidal intent? Shortly after October 7th, Herzog stated that an entire nation is responsible, having rebelled against Gaza in 2007. Minister of Heritage, Amihai Eliyahu, floated the idea of dropping an atomic bomb on Gaza, for which Netanyahu kicked him out of the meetings of the Council of Ministers, but kept him in office. There are no innocents left. Avigdor Lieberman, former defense minister, stated there are no uninvolved civilians. Tali Kotlib from Likud has called for merciless bombing from the air so as not to endanger the soldiers, scumbag, but to endanger babies, and to stop feeling sorry for the uninvolved Gazans, because there are none. Galit Distel, former public diplomacy minister, called for the Israeli army to behave in a vengeful and cruel manner. There's only one solution to curing a cancer, and it is the evisceration of the cancerous cells. This is the UN ambassador, Gilad Erdan, this guy with the glasses that you see, the UN ambassador. So if there's any doubt in terms of what they are doing and what they're seeking, this is essentially the and they've got the audacity. Imagine that they've called South Africa the legal arm of the Hamas organization. If you can't, this is the kind of hate that emanates from Israel. This is the kind of hate that emanates. So coming back, that was the Al Pace report. Coming back to the report now on in January. Now you've got a situation where these Israeli lawmakers have even called for more violence. It's not enough. The sadistic killings, the massacres, the gang rapes that we've seen, it's not enough. So they're calling for much, much more at this particular juncture in this letter that was written to Netanyahu and as captured here. And of course, the lawmakers' letter does not mention anything about freeing the 60 hostages. So it's no longer about hostages. They're not interested in freeing the hostages at all. They're not interested in freeing the hostages. And as the Israeli journalist Bar Peleg reported on Friday from the Jabalia refugee camp, he says when the soldiers and officers in Jabalia asked about the mission, the answer is destroying. When they asked, and what about the hostages? One soldier answered, that concerns us like it does everyone, but it isn't part of our operational consideration. So the Israeli soldiers are saying that freeing of the hostages, which these barking dogs out there that are defending Israel are claiming that this is only about the hostages. The very IDF are saying that it's not about the hostages anymore. The IDF law, so you take, when we prove genocide, one of the aspects of genocide, which was not the genocidal rhetoric, shows and is reflective of intent. That genocidal rhetoric that you see in Israel is not even what happened in Rwanda, what happened in Nazi Germany, the brazenness that you see in terms of the genocidal rhetoric is nowhere close to what these satanic Israeli animalistic vermin are calling their own Israeli soldiers to do. So you have two situations. You juxtapose the fact that Israeli soldiers are committing atrocities, and the Israeli officials and the Israeli government are not making any qualms about the genocidal rhetoric and the genocidal killing, which is now being documented. Northern Gaza is already in ruins. The Israeli journalist Peleg noted, not a single habitable building remains in Jabalia. All homes, hospitals, schools, and other infrastructure has been totally destroyed. Look at the extent of the destruction and annihilation, one IDF. No one has done this before. An IDF officer told Haaretz that one commander, Brigadier General Yehuda Vak, seeks to personally execute the so-called General's Plan. What's a General's Plan? The General's Plan was a plan by Giora Eiland, which laid down the blueprint for starvation and ethnic cleansing of Palestinians from northern Gaza. It came out in 2006 when they were bombing and destroying Lebanon. And now they are talking about destroying the 250,000 Palestinians that are now besieged and held up in northern Gaza. And so the General's Plan is going to be something which will be executed, where they will ethnically cleanse and totally destroy the last living remains of Gaza. The last living remains of Gaza. We've seen total starvation. Total starvation. Here's a report directly from the I beg your pardon, let me just get this all out. We're not subscribing to these channels, where you have a situation where we're seeing starvation, total starvation. In October 2024, there was clear starvation being seen, where you've got babies and children having kwashiorkor, things that you would see in Ethiopia and Somalia in the 80s, and Rwanda before that, and of course during the Rwandan genocide. So there's no qualms about what the Israelis are up to. So the Israeli policies have been presented as evidence. The South African government, the legal team, has made a phenomenal case. And of course, now you've got these arrest warrants against Gallant and Netanyahu. And, the people have accused the Gaza Health Ministry of overstating its figures. But according to the Lancet report, more than 100,000 or close to 200,000 Palestinians have been killed. And then, of course, you've got people under the rubble. And then you've got 105,000 people that have been murdered and killed. I mean, look at this. This is an estimate in terms of and this is on January 2nd, so just a couple of days ago. In the last month, we're talking about the December holidays, the December period. Israel carried out 1,400 strikes in Gaza just over a month, over 45 a day on average, over 45 a day. Imagine that. Compare just what happened this December to what happened on October 7th. You know, they're drumming into our minds the lies and the propaganda of October 7th. Only 800 civilians or 600 civilians were killed. Only 600. Not good enough, but only 600 were killed. Out of the 1,139 over a period of 3 days. Only 600 civilians. Rest were military officials. And if it was only military officials that were killed, then we could argue it's fair game. But forget the last year. Just compare 1 day. Compare 1 day in December to October 7th. 45 strikes on 1 day, killing, maiming, bombing. And Gaza is a territory spanning 25 miles. I don't know how long that is in relation to what we see. But, there's a report. This is the equivalent of 45 Israeli airstrikes, 1,400 strikes. Notwithstanding that 70% of Gaza has already been destroyed. At the time of the report, now let's just go back to when this was. This is the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. I don't know if this is available on your site. Look, we've got people backstage. The usual. We have this guy last week. His name is Lukman. He was given to me. He's based in the United Kingdom. He is into hardcore pornography. This guy is into hardcore pornography. A couple of years back, he basically posted hardcore pornography. He comes on our debate forum. He abuses women. He abuses our Muslim sisters, and he's afraid to show our face. So what we do is this to this coward. This is a coward. We will allow you to show your face in the background, just to Brother Muhammad to confirm who you are. When you come on the stream, you can put your camera off. So let me go through this. So basically, what we're going to do to this coward by the name of Lukman, Show your face to Muhammad so we know you are genuine and legitimate. Just to Muhammad in the backstage. We won't show you live. We won't show your face on the stream. So let's just show us that you're not a coward and you're not a liar, and that you can come here and defend the fact that, you see, he ran like a rat. This guy, Luqman, ran like a rat. We asked you fairly, rat face, and I want you to clip this. So, you know, after we're done, Muhammad, you can clip this particular stream. This guy, Luqman, has been coming and trolling us. He's been exposing and distributing hardcore pornographic material. He's been coming on our, I've got a WhatsApp group called the Open Islamic Debate Forum. It's comprising of some genuine people and a lot of nutters. There are a lot of lunatics on that particular forum, a lot of lunatics. I see Luqman ran like a rat, but there are a lot of lunatics there. And for the past couple, my friend, it's a subsidiary of the far more larger Open Debate Forum, which I founded some years back. This was founded by my late friend, the activist Rasul Sneman, may Allah give him the high stages in Jannat. Because of the fact that the Open Debate Forum was filled with mainly political content that was non-religious, a lot of religious-minded fanatics were coming on and bombarding it with mindless issues like fiqh and madhahib and all this other kind of nonsense, which we didn't want to entertain, sectarian nonsense and all that kind of rubbish. So we created a subsidiary group called the Open Islamic Debate Forum, which allowed for intra-faith debate, which I'm not basically interested in. I'm not interested in some Muslim channels are interested in this kind of rubbish. I'm not interested in that kind of junk. If you want to debate amongst yourselves, go ahead and debate. We're not interested in that. We rather tackle the enemy outside. So this guy has been coming on the stream, and now he joined the group. And over the past week, he's been posting in word format, verbally, pornographic content of the worst kind. Not in pictures, but in content, abusing Muslim women, calling them whores. There's Afia Siddiqui. He called her some vulgar terminology. So he wants to come on the stream, and all we did was we allowed him to come on the stream, show his face in the background, to Muhammad, and then when he comes on, we can basically remove his face. We don't have to show his face. He ran like a rat, so we're not bothered with him. So now we come on here, coming back. Sorry for that. That's just a mild distraction. But coming back to the more important stuff here, there's the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. I just want to expand this here. If you can see this on your screen, 66% of the total structures in the Gaza Strip have sustained damage, according to UNOSAT's analysis reveal. This was on the 30th of September. The satellite imagery that was released, and we've been to satellite imagery, I think it was recorded in The Guardian. We showed it on the stream many times. That 66% of damaged building accounts for the 163,778 structures in total. The United Nations Satellite Center, in collaboration with the Food and Agriculture Organization, has also released an update on the health and density of cropland. 68% of the permanent crop fields have been totally destroyed. 68% have been totally destroyed in relation to that. And this is the problem that we basically got. This is the problem we've got. Look, this guy here has been saying he's now coming on my personal group and he's sending abusive content. But all we are doing, and we're putting out the challenge. Anyone who wants to come on, if you are ashamed, or with Muslim women we can understand you don't want to show your face. That's fine. Even with Muslim men, if you are afraid to show your face on the stream, don't show your face. But so long as we can verify that you are not a bot and you're not a troll, Brother Muhammad has to verify that you are genuine, and then you can come on. We'll shut down the face, and you can say what you want to. You can challenge us, but why are you so cowardly to do that? So this is a report coming back to this from the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, and essentially showing the level of particular killings. And the military did not specify, but the rights groups have noted that within the first months of Israeli genocide, Israeli forces have already dropped the equivalent of multiple nuclear bombs on the Gaza Strip. This is a territory spanning only 25 miles long and about the same land area as Las Vegas. And of course, Israeli forces have claimed that they were striking military targets, but many of the strikes documented by journalists include children. So how do you defend this? This is the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Rights, a humanitarian situation update. It shows that the bombardment is directly against children. Children. Between the 24th and the 30th of December, 2024, 108,338 were injured. And according to the Gaza Health Ministry, 45,000 Palestinians were killed. But as I stated, this is an underestimate because according to the Lancet report, the British Medical Journal, more than 100,000 have been killed. Between the 24th and the 29th of December, people don't know, and this is the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Rights. Just let's look at these statistics. And I want people to come out here and defend these statistics. Defend these statistics. Come on and defend these statistics. On the 24th of December, the day before Christmas, 3 Palestinians, including 2 civil defense personnel, were killed when a civil defense was hit near Al Sidra intersection in the Al Daraj neighborhood. On the 25th of December, 6 Palestinians, including a boy, were reportedly killed when tents for internally displaced persons were hit inside a school in Ashrek Radwan neighborhood in northern Gaza. No Hamas there. On the 26th of December, 8 Palestinians from a single family, including 3 females, were murdered. No Hamas there. On the 26th of December, 6 Palestinians, including a woman and her daughter, were murdered. On the 26th of December, a day before, you know, the famous Kamal Adwan hospital, out of service, where they were murdered, the Israeli forces bombed and killed how many people? 50 people. 50 people, including 5 healthcare workers. 26th of December, 15 Palestinians were killed. So look at it here. 26th of December, 6 Palestinians. 26th of December, 50. 26th of December, 1930, 15. 26th of December, 5 Palestinian journalists and 5 media workers were killed. 5 Palestinians and 5 media workers were killed. 28th of December, 10 Palestinians were killed. 28th of December, 9 Palestinians, including a girl and 2 women. 29th December, the Israeli forces struck the upper floor of the Al Wafa Rehabilitation Hospital, resulting in 7 Palestinians killed and others injured. On the 29th December, 7 Palestinians were reportedly killed and others injured. On the 29th of December, 8 Palestinians, including 3 females, were reportedly murdered. Human shield with these human shields. I mean, you can't defend this anymore. You honestly can't defend this at all. And then you've got the Palestinian Prisoner Society announcing the death of 5 detainees from Gaza whilst in Israeli custody. A 51-year-old father of 4 who was arrested by Israeli forces. So he was arrested and then he was announced dead. He was announced dead by the General Authority of Civil Affairs on the 29th of December. A 44-year-old father of 10 was arrested on the 15th of November 2023, announced dead on the 29th of December, so died in custody. A 57-year-old father of 8, arrested on the 18th of November 2024, died on the 27th of November, a couple of days later. A 52-year-old patient was arrested, on the 25th of October, died on the 3rd of November. A 58-year-old man who was detained working in Israel on the 7th of October died on the 8th of October, 2020, 18th of October. So it's quite clear that these people are being murdered in custody. They're being murdered whilst they are in custody. How do you defend that? How do you defend that? Because Israel is now claiming officially that they've done nothing wrong. The Israeli soldiers are defending them. I don't know if there's any pro-Israeli Zionists out there. How do you defend such filth? How do you defend this? How on earth do you defend this? Between the 1st of December and the 1st and 30th of December, out of the 569 planned aid movements with Israeli authorities across the Gaza Strip, 33% were facilitated, 39% were denied, 18% were interfered with initially, but faced impediments, and 9% were cancelled by the organizers. So look at this. Look at this report here. Since October, the WHO has verified at least 50 attacks on health on or near the Kamal Adwan hospital. Between the 28th and the 29th of December, the Israeli military are issuing evacuation orders, and they're killing them when they are going to the evacuation orders. They're murdering them. 7,700 newborn babies lack access to safe life healthcare, according to UNICEF. We've discussed this as well. So this is one of the recent reports going as late as this. And the basic water, sanitation, hygiene, 75% of wash infrastructure we're estimated to be damaged, and only 20% of municipal wells were assessed to be partially operational, supplying just 10% of the water produced prior to the escalation of hostilities in October 2023. So, I mean, justify this. How do you explain this? How do you explain the agriculture destroyed? I mean, we've been through so many other reports. How on earth do you explain this? A humanitarian situation update as at the 29th of December, 31st of December, 2024. So it's late. This is 11 days ago. So someone come out there and justify this. Someone come and explain this. How do you explain this? How on earth do you explain this? So, Mohammed, do we have anyone in the backstage? Do I have anyone in the backstage that... So this guy here, this guy, Luqman, this is his words. He says, can I PISS on Palestine? So he's a Zionist, Luqman. PS, FUCK, Palestine, Muslims. This is from Luqman. And he calls himself here Sebar, Syrian guy. This is Luqman. This is the guy. This is the guy that was there on our stream, and he's basically on the Open Islamic Debate Forum. His name is Luqman. He comes on our channel. He comes under the name of a woman, this coward. He comes under the name of Brigadier Broadwaters on the Open Islamic Debate Forum. He comes under really, and he's vulgar. He posts pornographic material. So, Muhammad, I want you to, once we're done with this, clip the stream about this troll, the guy that goes under the name of Luqman. He wants an audience at our expense. We allow nutcases and extremists from time to time. But what this coward doesn't want to do, and I've invited someone else by the name of Anonymous, who's from my channel, who's from the WhatsApp group Debate Forum. He also hasn't come on. I don't know why. We show your face, not on the stream. If you're cowardly to show your face on the stream, then at least allow Muhammad to vet you in the background to show us that you're a genuine person. Put your camera on to show us you're a genuine person. But don't be cowardly. Don't be so cowardly. Why would you come expect us to basically get you on this program, hide your face under the picture of a woman, and then use the most vulgar language possible, defend Israeli genocide, defend the massacres, defend the mass murder, and then expect people to take you seriously? So these are the kind of trolls that we've been getting from time to time. They have no significance whatsoever to us. If he's there in the background and he's listening, show your face to Muhammad in the background, then put your camera off and then come on the stream and then debate us. Come on the stream and debate us. But why be a coward and show pornographic content? Why be a coward and attack Muslim women? Why call Muslim women? He ran like a rat. So this is what happens. Why is it that pro-Israeli supporters are rats? There's a hadith. And, there's obviously different categories and standards of hadith. I think this is a weak hadith. But there's a hadith which speaks about, the Zionists, in inverted commas, in the days of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the Sahaba, being described or transformed into rats, whether you view it literally or not. But, you can see the rat-like behavior in the Zionist conduct. These are rats.
Also, Brother Yusuf, there's also a hadith regarding the end times when even the rocks and the trees will shout out and say there's one of these horrible individuals hiding behind me, so come and kill him, because these people are vermin. unfortunately, these Zionists.
Yeah, there's a metaphorical. In fact, that was part of the Hamas charter. You're right, Mohammed. That's why they call the Hamas charter genocidal, but it's actually not. What Hamas did, and it's removed the original 87 charter that come the end times when Nabi Isa comes, and this is in the Bible, because in the Bible Jesus will be like a vicious dictator. He'll be a tyrant. There'll be a sword sticking out of his mouth. He'll behave like a Nazi himself. In the New Testament, in the book of Revelation, Jesus will be worse than Hitler. By the way, in the New Testament, he will be standing on the skulls of the Jewish nation. He will slaughter his enemies. The enemies will be made his footstool. You know, even Hitler never made his enemies his footstool, as brutal as he was. Jesus will be one way worse than Hitler in the New Testament. But in the Hadith literature, in the Hadith corpus, and of course, there's various grades of authenticity, so we don't want to go into that. But there is a Hadith alluding to the end times, where when Jesus comes in the end times, the trees and the stones will metaphorically be saying out or crying out. You know, there is a Jewish, and I'm using the term, I'm updating the Hadith, that there's a Zionist behind me. Get him, get him. And you can see the behavior here. You can see the behavior of these dirty vermin and these dirty rats. So it's not surprising when the Quran describes them as being, being like apes and pigs, because they're behaving like apes and pigs. And we see that in broad daylight before our very eyes. This Zionist thug, this Zionist scumbag, this is a behavior. This is a sick behavior. And he poses as a Muslim. He goes by the name of Luqman, poses as a Muslim, but he's a Muslim Zionist, a hardcore, in inverted commas, hardcore fanatical Zionist. That's him. I want the people to see this. We're going to clip this and post this. And what he's been doing for the past week, you won't believe this, Muhammad. He's been using the most vile, repulsive terminology against Muslim sisters. He describes Dr. Afia Siddiqui as a psychiatric cabbage. She must wallow in her abusive, vulgar. It makes your blood boil as a Muslim. But sometimes people ask, why do I allow this? Why do I allow this? Why do we allow this? And there's a reason behind this. We allow this to show that these people have no morality. That's the only reason. So that their evil and the immorality can be shown before the public broadly, to see how evil, repulsive, and hostile and such vermin they are. That's the only reason. Because when you show this kind of conduct, that if you have to resort to such sort of behavior, it shows that you've got no decent argument. You've got no decent argument. You are a sick, satanic, sadistic individual involved and addicted to hardcore pornographic material, which you want to post on this platform, which will not allow you to do. And when we ask you to stop being a coward and a satanic bastard and show your face, not to us, not to the public, because you are too cowardly to show your face in the public, but just to Muhammad, so he can vet you that you're a genuine person and not a bot. You're cowardly to even do that. How shameless are you? We are not afraid of anybody. Both myself, Muhammad, of course, he's working now, so he's in the background. He's looking after children at this particular point in time. But we're not afraid of anybody. We're not afraid of supporting the Palestinian resistance in the legal. We're not afraid of standing up to Israeli brutality. We're not afraid of our channels get shadow banned, which it has been. And up to now, my Facebook page has been locked. So I'm locked out. I have no access to my Facebook page. I've never been one like some of the other channels. I don't even know how Instagram works. I don't know how, what's this channel? Twitter works. I think it's called X. I've never used them. I don't have an account. The only account I've used is Facebook, and of course I've appeared on YouTube channels. But my Facebook account is now shut down. This is they want to shut down Facebook. They want to shut down all forms of content and all forms of material, and it's been happening. And Brother Muhammad is spot on. We are possibly the only YouTube channel out there amongst Muslims that are basically. And this is a guy here. You can see him. This is a guy here. You can see the screen. He's going under the name Luqman Scammer. That's him. He's now trying to phone me. This bot is trying to phone me, going under the name of Luqman Scammer, and he's trying to come on and make abusive conduct. This is him. This is him.
Please let me on, your fat friend with low IQ from Coventry.
This is the guy. This is what you've got. This is the type of people. And you know what? The Dawa people don't get the abuse. Since we've exposed Israel, this is the kind of abuse we've been getting.
You are kind of virtue signaling for prostitutes.
This is the kind of behavior we've been getting.
You are defending proselytizing to cam whores and prostitutes, the Muslim prostitutes in England, the Muslim Arab prostitutes
you see this?
in France. You know, a large number of Muslim women are prostitutes.
So look how he's describing Muslim women. He says Muslim women are prostitutes, but nothing about Israelis gang raping Palestinian women. Okay, so we're gonna do this now. He's on the phone. He's been phoning from London. We'll do this now. We'll have a deal with him. The deal is he shows his face to Muhammad in the background.
I'll give you my postcode right now, BD112DL. Come over.
We'll show his face to Muhammad. We'll allow him to show his face to Muhammad, and then he can hide his face when he's on the screen.
No, but he's not letting me on, the fat bastard.
So he's using the most vulgar language. This is what we got. And we get, and for the viewers out there, we get these calls at midnight. We get this type of abusive calls at midnight. I just want people to see the evil we are dealing with. We get death threats. We get death threats. We get abused. This is what we get. It doesn't affect us. So we're inviting this guy. Brother Muhammad, invite him on, put him on. But in the background, he must show his face. So we've got him, bring him back to the stream. And then bring him back to the stream. I, in fact, asked him for 50. You know what? I asked him for £50 to come on the stream. I asked him for £50, but he can't afford this. So he comes on the stream, shows his face, and then he comes on. So we're going to allow him. So you come back on the stream. This is what Zionists do. This guy's a hardcore Zionist. So we're speaking out against Israeli genocide. He says we're virtue signaling for prostitutes. So stop being a coward. Stop being a coward. Come on the program, but show your face in the background. Show your face in the background, and then we can cover your face, and you can turn off your camera. You turn off your camera. But I just want the public viewers to know this is the views we get. My phone has been infested, and Brother Muhammad has been attacked numerous times.
I've got a script for you. I want to talk about different topics bit by bit, and you're not.
So okay, we'll do this. I'm gonna put this phone off because you're wasting my time. But I'll allow you to basically come on. I'll allow you to come on if you show his face. So this is what we deal with. I want people to know this is the type of people we deal with. Both Muhammad and myself. We get these individuals. He's one amongst many people. He's one amongst many people. And there are a lot. And I can tell you, this guy may be more of an abuser, but there are far more dangerous people out there than him that won't say much, but will target your families, kidnap your children. This is how evil and vile the Zionists are. They will engage in human trafficking, take your children, kidnap your children, find your children at schools, come and get. This is the type of people that we're dealing with. So as Muslims, we need to be aware of the type of people we get. I mean, I get death threats all the time. All the time. We don't boast about it like some Muslim web YouTube channels boast about. We don't go out because it's meaningless to us. Someone wants to kill you, they would have killed you a long time. But this is the type of people that we are getting. So again, the challenge to him, and we're going to move on. If you want to come on, show his face, show the guy's face, and then basically we'll allow you on this particular stream, and then you can turn off your camera. That's the least we can do. Turn off your camera. That's the least you can do. But show us that you're not a bot. I see we've got someone else on, Brother Muhammad. So we've had Brother Anam here. You can bring him on. He's been decent.
Assalamu alaikum. Sorry to hear that you're dealing with all that.
Yeah, wa alaikum salam. How do you do, Brother Anam?
Alhamdulillah. I mean, I don't have any 3 a.m. phone calls with like vulgar obscenities, so I'm doing pretty good, brother. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, we get all types. It doesn't. I think some people get affected by it, but I mean, we're used to this kind of nonsense.
I would lose sleep. I'm very sensitive, like because and especially your family. You didn't even do. I mean,
yeah.
And then, like you said, there's more dangerous people too. So it's like I don't know. We may have to find you private security, brother, because it's like it's not fair for your family. You know?
Yeah, well, this guy's from the United Kingdom, so we're getting calls from the UK. He's closer to Brother Muhammad than myself. Brother Muhammad has had some of his accounts hacked, and my Facebook account no longer exists, so it's been locked out for some reason. They stated there was unusual activity, and this is a situation. So this guy basically he's in the backstage, Muhammad. If you can look, we'll bring him on. We'll bring him on with him turning off his camera, but at least show his cam to you, show his face to you. If he's there, he can show his face. Bring him for 20 seconds. I just want to see what he says, and then we cut him off. Because I want him to apologize. Can you see? He's got a picture of a tiger.
Yeah, hi there. Thank you for having me, but I'm really offended.
Are you going to apologize for your behavior? Are you going to apologize for your behavior?
Sorry, excuse me. Look, I'm here for a quant phylogenetic hierarchical discussion. I've got a script in front of me, yes? So let's get on with it and stop virtue signaling. I'm sick of this, sluts for Palestine and, pussies for Palestine. I've had enough of it.
Well, why are you using such abusive language? Why are you using such abusive
language? Because it's forbidden for Muslim women to come out and protest in Islam.
No, you're calling them sluts. What did you say about Afia Siddiqui earlier on? You called her
she's a vegetable. I said, and I quote, she's a spent vegetable. She's old news. Let's move on, because
that's offensive. But someone who's been tortured by the Americans, you're calling her.
I know that, and she's useless now. She used to.
So there should be no. There should be no.
Just put her in a cell. Just put her on a feeding tube. She's old news. That's what I'm telling you. Just move on.
To call someone that's been tortured by the American military as a spent vegetable, that's offensive. Yeah. You agree?
I mean, I'm sorry, but that's what she is now. There's not much I can do about it.
Why you've been defending? So can you explain why you've been defending? The topic is Israeli politicians are now openly demanding genocide. Do you agree with the point that South African government has made its case beyond reasonable doubt at the International Court of Justice, that they've proven beyond doubt that Israel is committing genocide, and there's no debate about that?
Yes, that is correct, and they'll get on with it, as I predicted, because I've been studying this issue from a military perspective, and I actually have done modules in war gaming, which is complex mathematical hypergame theory, as well as numerical game theory, which you know nothing about. And I've actually done the mathematical modeling of how wars work, and the generals, military academies are 10 steps ahead of you. They feed you very basic, minimal, rudimentary information in the media that riles you up. Then you organize protests for for your social leveraging and for activity and the normal commoners. But they are already 10 steps ahead of the public. They know the protests will take place. They know everything that will happen serially, and they're prepared for it.
Mohammed, share this on the stream. Share this on the stream, Mohammed. I want him to comment. So this is a comment made by the Israeli military. When you leave Israel and enter Gaza, you are God. Inside the minds of IDF soldiers who commit war crimes. As a psychologist dealing with brutality in the military, which you claim to be an expert on, I can see how the government rhetoric of hatred is worsening the problem. So you agree with the fact that we are dealing with evil, sick, sadistic entities like the Israeli Defense Force. And here you've got an article from the
Ashkenazim people. They're not Jews. They are placating and using the Jews as scapegoat. The Semitic Jews have already declined in population to 1 to 10, 1 to 9 in the whole Jewish population ratio, proportionation. All right, these are Khazarian Ashkenazic tribes, and they used to be devil worshippers. And then some of them converted to Christianity, and then some of them are now Jews. They are placating sects against each other, but the Jews are being scapegoated. I know the Quran uses the word Jew for everything, but the thing is, you need to realize that obviously they think they're Jews now, so obviously they'll be treated as Jews in the book of Lamentations and the book of Jehovah. So what you need to realize is that these Jews are being scapegoated. Oh, the Jews are making it's the white Europeans who are bloodlusting white vampires who want to.
Okay, so this is the situation. You've got your small ideologically violent group supporting the brutality. They believe in Jewish supremacy and derogatory towards Arab. There's
Talmudic supremacy. They publish Tanakh and Talmud. Their books are
we know that. We know all of that. And so you have a situation that they're engaging in conduct worse than Nazis. So my question to you is,
No,
Why
but
did you then
no.
post?
You need to
Why
study
did
these
you
books
post that
first,
evil on the
Yusuf. What
screen?
you're not
Why did
understanding
you
is that
say
in order to
Palestine?
understand
Why did you say that?
qualify my statement, you need to, in order to understand the psychology and the psychiatric framework of the enemy, you have to understand the publications that they derive their energy from, right? I've gone through Judaic, Khazarian jurisprudential, statements and their reasoning. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the reasoning of the fiqh and everything. And when you read the Tanakh, and I know you're intelligent, you've been a lawyer, you'd be able to understand the jurisprudential comparison between Islamic jurisprudence and Jewish. It's very important for professionals like you to at least have a reading knowledge of, Tanakh and Talmud, and so you can understand the coincidence and congruence or similarity or dissimilarity between Islamic and Jewish, Talmudic and Tanakian, jurisprudence, and understand the rationale of these people. Where are they coming from? You need to understand where these people are.
Look, man, I want to ask you this question. In light of what you're saying, that these are Ashkenazi Jews, we have then no argument that these are evil people and they're evil people engaging in genocide. Why did you then post, Mohammed, put that back on the stream, put that back, the comments back. Why did you then send messages like this? Can I PISS on Palestine? And you've got the FUCK Palestine. Muslims are losers. FUCK Palestine.
Sorry, that's not me. Excuse me. Let me just double check. That's not me. That's some Syrian secularist. Syrian.
That was you. You come now in the purple pistol, but that was you in the stream.
No, that's not me. Actually, I can tell you a lot of Syrians are very secular. They're aggressively socialist, and they're children of traitors.
This Sabar Syrian guy. That was you. You wanted to come on, and that was
no,
you.
I don't. Look, I'm dissimilar to this movement.
I don't. Why did you post that, Lukman? Why did you post that? You were the only guy in the stream posting that. Why did you post that? If we agree that Israel is committing genocide, why did you post that?
You can't caricature me. That's not me. I've told you once. If it was me, I would have owned it. I would own it if I did it.
Because it sounds like you were saying Muslims are losers, Muslim women are whores, sluts for Palestine.
No, I was talking about the Muslim prostitutes, the growing sex.
So would you apologize? Would you say that those are vile? Would you condemn those comments? That those are vile comments? Would you condemn?
Can you tell him not to mute me, please, because it breaks the flow of my.
Okay, that's fine. But will you condemn those comments then?
I was talking about the growing Muslim sex industry in Europe and how vast majority.
Forget that. So what about that? We're talking. Will you condemn the comments that are basically being made by that guy Sabar? Will you condemn it?
Exactly, because obviously he's being unempathetic to the people who are dying and getting martyred. I feel sorry for them, but at the same time, I know why Arabs are dying, and it was a long time coming. It's generational curse. Vertical curses get transmitted. Every race, group, family, caste has its own set of generational curses they need to deal with, and the Arabs, the Palestinians are dealing with what they did. The Palestinians helped General Allenby. Just one moment. Arabs, the Palestinians helped the.
We agree. Palestinians are a separate ethnic group. Do you agree with that?
They are Semitic Arab, and they helped General Allenby, the British, in occupying this land away from the Muslim Union. They killed Muslim soldiers. They destroyed the sanctity of the Grand Mufti of the Holy Land. They did everything anti-Islamic, and now they're paying for it.
Give me one example. I'll share your screen. Can you give me one example? Give me a source. I'll open the source for you.
Yes, I will now. Now let's go into the attacks of General Allenby. All right, he attacked.
Let me just clarify.
Multiple sources. It's all over, and I read it from a few ancient sources myself. I had my father's books in the library. I've read it from there, but.
Show me a source where the Palestinian ethnic. We're not talking about leaders. The Palestinians as an ethnic group went and killed other Muslims. Show me a source.
Okay.
Of course, the leaders, but the Mufti of Jerusalem.
No. The community leaders as well. The Arab leaders were complicit in allowing the settlers to come in and to fight against the Muslim Union and reject the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem and to kill Muslim soldiers and help the British help them separate the Levantine Palestine area.
minority, or was that some individuals or leaders?
It was the children of the people who are living here now. It's the children of the people who did this. The dying people now today are the children of the traitors. That's what I'm sorry about, but that's the situation.
No. And this is totally false. This is totally false.
Why is it false? Why is it? Well, don't you think that? Where do these people come from then?
No, because of the fact that according to the there's a famous book by Ilan Pappé. He's written a book called "Destroying the Common Myths on Israel," and one of the myths on Israel is the fact that, number one, the Palestinians openly, well, some did certainly, but openly allowed a situation whereby they gave full autonomy to the Jewish communities, whereas the terrorist Zionist death squads like Irgun and Haganah and the Stern Gang initiated acts of terror way before the declaration of the independence of the state of Palestine, way before the declaration of the state of Israel. And beyond that, Israeli settlers started buying land from the British once Palestine was under the British mandate and taken over by the Ottomans as early as 1920. So there may have been one or two Arab leaders that may have been complicit in that, but this doesn't make that the Palestinians as an ethnic group were responsible for that, because this was their land. Otherwise, they wouldn't have resisted in the first instance.
Rubbish. That's total rubbish. You keep muting me in the middle. Let me correct you, okay? Why did the collective tribal leaders... You don't know how tribalism works, how the Arab tribal leaders used to liaise and cooperate in regional politics, right? You need to understand that. It wasn't just one or two leaders. Every section of that region complied to sell the land, allow them to come in, because Arabs are Europhilic. They think they're white and they want to mingle with the Europeans, and then when they get bit, they try humanitarianism.
Let me. The Israelis there because they love the white people. Is that what you say?
Why are you muting me? Because you're breaking the flow of my conversation.
Because I'm asking you, you're making a comment without any justification. Show me where the Arabs were so infatuated with white people and therefore they allowed the white Jews to take over Palestine. Show me that.
Yeah,
show me any
at least you agree with the fact that, you know, the Khazarian Jews have outbred the Semitic, and you can't find Semitic Jews these days anyway. The best you can find are Central Asian Sephardic Jews, and they come from Bukhara and Samarkand and the northern parts of Iran and Azeri parts of, northern Afghanistan. And they are Sephardic Jews. They're treated as second-class citizens, but now they've paved their way into the hierarchy of Israel after a lot of hard work. Arab.
Okay, let me ask you. I want to ask this question: who illegally or legally sanctioned the creation of the state of Israel? Which group or which body? Do you know the answer?
Let me ask you a question now.
No, yes. You can't.
Why did the British? Why did the
Palestinians? I've asked you a question: who sanctioned the creation of the state of Israel? Can you answer that?
Why did the Palestinians help General Allenby kill the Muslim soldiers and destroy the Muslim Union? Why did they take LMGs from British forces to shoot at Muslim soldiers and to kick them out of Holy Lands, and then allow the British to come in, allow the settlers to come in? They are responsible for their death today, just like Syrians were for choosing Hafez al-Assad, Bashar al-Assad.
Can you show me where the Palestinians were responsible for that?
Okay, so right now you're just being childish. You are being...
No, I'm asking. You're saying I'm being childish. You said the Palestinians were responsible with General Allenby in killing other Muslims. Show me where the Palestinians...
Do you not know who General Allenby is? He attacked Palestine 3 times. He was spotted twice. Yeah, well, let's pull it out then.
He played a role in helping the British counter the 1919 Egyptian revolution after the decline of the Ottomans. Do you know what nationality he was?
Played a role? Are you kidding me? He was leading the campaign against that region. That's rubbish. What you're minimizing everything. Don't do that. Pull him out. Let's read through what he did, and I'll guide you step by step. Yes, you are minimizing it. You are refusing the science of generational curses. You are thinking that Allah is your puppet, and you can worship him and pull his strings.
Can I ask you a question? Are you still there? I want to ask you this question. You said, and you made the claim...
Tell him not to mute me, please. No, it's a bit childish now. Tell him not to mute.
No, I won't. Answer my question. You're not answering. Can you show me where General Allenby, who was known as Viscount Allenby, commandeered the ethnic Palestinian group to stand up and kill other Muslims? Because he's the one that commanded Lawrence of Arabia, You know the famous Lawrence of Arabia, and Lawrence of Arabia basically got King Faisal and the Arabs within the Saudi region after the Ottoman Empire, and they promised Arabs, falsely so, certain lands and certain territories within the particular area, but not Palestine. My question to you, show me where General Allenby used the Palestinians to kill other Muslims. Can you answer that, please?
Wow, you're so confused. You have no idea about historiographical phylogeny.
I'm asking you a
mixing
question.
so many
Okay, I'm
things.
confused. I'm
Now,
confused.
if you
Show me.
listen, then I'll clarify
I'm
it.
confused. Show me. Teach me.
Yes,
Teach
let me now lay it out, because you've
Teach
asked me,
me.
but you're not letting me finish. So, number one, you are confusing the relationship of Lawrence of Arabia with northern Turkey and Syria. You are confusing the relationship of the British with the Bedouin pagan tribes, non-Muslim Bedouin pagan tribes, Abdulaziz, who took over. Shah Faisal was not alive back then. You're so low IQ. You don't even know that Shah Faisal was not even, he's a man of 70s. He was born in 50s, and then he took power in 70s and was murdered by, and I have actual documents of him kissing the ass of Kissinger and begging and pleading him, whilst in the public he was pretending to be a hero
So
of
what's that
Muslims.
got to do with anything?
Again, you're interrupting me.
Can you my question, is it a fair question? Can you show me where Allenby used the Palestinian ethnic minority to kill other Muslims? We know what he did with other Muslim leaders like Faisal, like with Lawrence of Arabia, using other Arabs in the Saudi region. Where did he use ethnic Palestinians?
You are not letting me finish. So the other thing is,
you're not answering my question. Can
okay, I will answer your question now. Okay,
no, let me finish the point.
Here's the answer to your question.
You are making the argument that the Palestinians deserve what they
Sorry,
get.
excuse me. Here's the answer to your question now. Bear with me, please. The answer to your question is, okay, fine. I understand. I've actually tackled the misconceptions, the historical misconceptions in your mind. Now, I'm going to move ahead and tell you what you want. General Allenby was the leader of the campaign for all of that region. British Empire used to allocate one campaign per general, and that campaign included geolocational regional distribution. Okay, now listen, you cannot, if you are a real person, if you've done business in your life, if you exist in a business community, you cannot take initiative without talking to all of the leaders of that community. General Allenby was in contact with all of the regional leaders. All of the Arab regional leaders of that Levantine Holy Land wanted the Muslim Union out. They killed Muslim soldiers. They burnt their artifacts. They killed and fired shots at them. They used British LMGs to kill them. Palestinians murdered Muslim soldiers back in the day. Their forefathers.
No. That's where I have to stop.
No. What do you mean?
No, can you show me?
No, why? No, Yusuf.
We know who he used, and
why
he
Yusuf?
didn't do it directly. He used T. Lawrence. Can you show me the proof and the source where Allenby used Palestinians, the forefathers of these current Palestinians, to murder other Muslims? I'm just asking you for the source, because I can give you Ilan Pape. You know, Ilan Pape and Benny Morris don't even make this ludicrous claim that you make. Allenby used other Arab leaders.
Why are Muslims in denial? This is my question. Okay,
because you can't give me the source. What's your source for saying?
Okay, I'll give you the
Palestinians. Give me the source, and we'll go to.
Let's look at the source now.
Palestinians.
General Allenby campaigns. Just type that in, and you'll find out.
Other Muslims.
Yeah, go to, and then now you need to type in General Allenby campaigns. The third campaign is where he was victorious due to Palestinian treason. The Syrians and Palestinians are traitors. They're treasonous secularists, and they are evil, and they deserve the. Yes, they are evil. They deserve it. They now deserve the Israeli.
Can you share the screen, Brother Mohammed? I'm showing you the Wikipedia account. This is what.
You could use Wikipedia, but I'd go for scholarly articles.
Well, we'll go to Britannica. Do you want to go to Britannica? Do you want to go to Britannica?
He did 3 campaigns.
Because I'm
going to justify and prove to you that Muslims deserve the punishment.
He used T. Lawrence, who was the intelligence officer. My question to you is, show me where he used the ethnic Palestinian population, to kill and murder other Muslims. That's all I'm asking for. So I'm going to go to Britannica. And let's type in Britannica. If Wikipedia is not good, I just want you to show me that. I just want you to show me that. I'm opening Britannica now. And of course, we know that he used Lawrence of Arabia, and of course we know about the
Yeah, but you missed one point. I told you Lawrence of Arabia was the only agent that got exposed. The rest of them never got exposed. They were working all over the Levant.
So you're saying the Palestinians never got exposed because they were working underhand? Is that what you're saying?
No, there were multiple agents. There were multiple agents of the British Empire that were working in different regions to cause.
Can you give me one Palestinian name? Can you give me one?
Multiple. There were multiple. I send you the Egypt, Freemasonic Muslim scholars document. Can you pull that out, please?
I'm getting rid of this. Hold on.
Yeah,
let me go to what you are doing here. Are you there?
Second, you put me off the. Okay, so can you please open the Egypt?
I'm opening the screen. I want you to share the screen. So if Wikipedia is not good enough for me, Brother Mohammed, let's show Britannica. I want to show you with Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes, please.
I'm aware. No, look, let me make it clear.
No, but don't be in denial.
Let me qualify myself.
The Muslims are in denial.
I do not deny that Arabs were involved in atrocities and some Arabs were in league with the British. There's no deny. Said Abu Rish did that. He wrote a book, a phenomenal book called The Rise, Corruption and Coming Fall of the House of Saud. He details that in detail. I believe he was a Lebanese academic. He deals with that. I don't deny that at all. I'm not denying Faisal's link with T. Lawrence and Lawrence being the puppet of General Allenby. I've never denied that. Nobody's denying that. But you made a point, and the point you made, which is a serious one, is that the Palestinians are suffering now because of the fact that back in history, after the decline and the demise of the Ottomans, when Palestine was under British mandate, the Palestinian ethnic minorities were siding with the British in killing and murdering other Muslims. Now, I've got Encyclopedia Britannica opened under Edwin Henry Allenby, and I want you to point out to me in this article anywhere which shows that the Palestinian ethnic minority...
No, but your denial is incomplete. You need to fully acknowledge the role of socialist secular...
Muslims. A simple question. Can you show me in this article? And I'll point it. Show me where. Because I've been asking
Arabs at that time were very anti-Muslim union. They wanted out with the union, and they were very hateful and supremacist in those times. You don't know the time era of the 40s. I have ancestors who've lived through...
Okay. Can you show me in this article?
I actually have ancestors who...
Are you there? He's gone. Now he's disappeared.
I'm here.
Is he there?
You keep this guy from Coventry is going to get it one day if I find him. If I find you, Mo, I'm going to kick your head in because you're putting me off the mic more and more.
So that's a threat. I don't think you'll be able to make it with him. He's a boxer. I don't think you'll be able to make it with him. He'll knock you out. Trust me. He'll knock you out. You won't be able to succeed with him in a boxing match. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, excuse me. Let's come back to the topic. Yes, excuse me. Come back to the topic. Thank you.
I'm asking you for 15 minutes. You aren't be able to show me. Where does it say that?
Click on his last third campaign, and see the contracts and the treaties he did with the local tribal leaders. You may not find it here because the British don't want to expose themselves, but every tribal leader was in contact, in sync with the agents of the British Empire.
Leaders in Palestine? Can you show me where? Okay, show me where.
Yes, it's a tribal region. These are feudal regions. Muslim world was a feudally divided region. You had nobles, lords, and nawabs, and you had sheikhs taking care of the local district.
No, hold on. Can we agree to this?
No, you don't understand because you never read through this. I
want to understand you. Luqman. Can we first agree that before World War I, Palestine was under Ottoman control, right?
Yusuf, sorry, please try to understand that. I'm not attacking you. I'm not trying to take anything away from you.
After World War I, the Ottomans were defeated and Palestine then...
No, they weren't completely defeated. No. You had the Persian Empire. There was a dissolution of the Persian Empire, Austro-Hungarian Empire in competition. Let me make my statement. Why are you so vulnerable?
The Persian Empire... From 1920 to
do you remember the Persian Empire? Does anyone here remember Persian Empire? And also how the
Persian Empire, the Prussian. From 1920 to 1947, Palestine was under British mandate. Do we agree with that?
Persian Empire, Prussian, Persian, not Persian.
The Prussian Empire.
Prussian, yes, Persian Empire. I'm talking about the Persian Empire and the Austro-Hungarian Empire.
Sir, Luqman, from 1920 to 1947, Palestine was under British mandate. Do we agree with that?
You've completely forgotten about the two other empires that were out competing at the same time.
I'm going back to the question. Can you show me? I'm asking you a simple question. When Palestine was under British mandate from 1920 to 1947, can you show me a single incident?
And that's when all the political treaties took place. Because when in India, yes, I can show you. Just for a moment, let me show you.
Can you show me a single incident in that time when Palestine was under British mandate where Allenby used the Palestinians to murder other Muslims? We know what he did with King Faisal. We know what he did with T. Lawrence.
King Faisal wasn't born yet in the 1940s. Are you kidding me? King Faisal was not in the picture. Yeah, but King Faisal wasn't even born. He wasn't in the picture. He's a man of the 80s.
Subsequently, the relationship between T. Lawrence and, of course, the Ibn Saud regime and Abdulaziz. But I'm saying particularly...
Abdulaziz wasn't born yet. You have no idea about the family tree.
Give me a source where...
Okay, I will now, because you're extremely uninformed.
I'm asking for 20 minutes. Give me the source.
I'll give you the source now, yes? So, first of all, your knowledge is completely incoherent. You have bits and bobs from places, but you don't understand...
But you can't give me the source.
King Faisal wasn't born yet. Let me...
Okay, that's fine.
Stop muting me. Yeah, stop it. I'm talking. Let me finish. That's very unprofessional. People will see your podcast and they'll be put off if you keep muting the guests like...
But come to the answer. You're not coming to the answer.
Yeah, I'm coming to the answer. Let me come to the answer. Don't do this. That's very uncivil.
25 minutes and you haven't come to the answer.
Why 5 minutes? We're here for 5-6 hours. I mean, it's not just 2 minutes. It's not dawa, a debate, toss pottery. Yeah. Now, let's go down the page. Yeah, go down. Bring the page back on.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
So the 18 years that the political rule, they actually did treaties work and acts and political impingements that led to cooperation. They also supplied covert weapons to all the masses, to the important leaders, to get them ready to fight the Muslim Union soldiers, MUS. At that time, they were known as MUS. And it was the Syrian camel tribes who dislodged the rail network of the Muslim Union to destroy the armamentorium supply, and that's how the Muslims were defeated in Syria.
You said King Faisal wasn't born. You said King Faisal wasn't born.
He wasn't in the picture. I meant he wasn't even active as a king. He's a king of the 70s. You're kidding me, mate.
Anam's got a point here about 1885. I thought he was born in 1906, but I'm
wow. Look at that, and you're a debater, you're a podcaster. Look at the level of your.
I think Anam, the figures are 1906. But be that as it may,
wow. This is the level of Muslim knowledge. This is the level of
Lukman, can you give me a source?
I will now.
Says that Palestinians were killing. Do you know a source?
Do you understand? Do you know that he supplied LMGs to the Palestinian fighters to fight against the Muslim Union soldiers? Can you pull that out, please?
Let me pull that out.
British LMGs, Palestine 1920. He supplied weapons just like NATO was supplying weapons to MQM in Karachi, and weapons were coming from Israel that were stopped, and then MQM was disbanded. So and TTP was doing a lot of terrorism. So the rule, the British rule, is very different to Boer rule or to French rule. They do political acts and resolutions and impingements, and they secretly do the work with the tribal leaders. They seal it, deal it, and then they leave.
Let me ask you this question.
I'm not finished yet, so I'm coming to the conclusion.
No, because you're not coming to my argument.
I'm coming to the conclusion now. You asked me a question prior.
Directly. When did Palestinians? Do you know when Palestinians actually fought for the British? Do you know when?
Yes, they did during the first and second, and they actually destroyed.
Lies.
Why? What do you mean lies? They were
Palestinians. You want me to prove that Palestinians only fought for the British during World War II?
There we go then. It's a serial process. Nothing happens in one day. It takes years to develop a narrative. There we go. Now.
No, but where were
See, now you're accepting it. Yeah, now you're slowly coming out of denial.
Where were those regiments deployed? Where were those regiments deployed? They were deployed.
It was civil plainclothes function. Civil plain.
They were deployed to North Africa.
Plainclothes intelligentsia operation. It was all civil clothes. It was very covert.
No.
Yes.
The North African operations.
You've never studied the phenomena. You don't know what's going on.
You made the point that Palestinians fought for the British.
You slowly.
That's a lie. So can you apologize for that? Because there's no evidence that Palestinians fought for the British in World War I.
Apologize. Yeah,
You
right.
said,
Now the thing
did
is,
you say
Yusuf,
that Palestinians fought for the British in World War I? Did you say that?
and two as well, and they killed the Muslim
did
soldiers.
You say, no, we'll come to two, but let's deal with it piecemeal. Did you say Palestinians fought for the British in World War I? They couldn't
Yes, in
have
civilian plain clothes, yes, with the weapons, just like the Syrians did.
Give me
Just
the
like
source for that. I'll go to the source. Give me the source. Give me the source. Give me the source. Because they were then under Ottoman control. How could they be fighting for the British?
they were killing the Ottoman soldiers. They were killing the. I'm not pro-Ottoman. I don't like
So you are saying the
Ottoman.
Palestinians were fighting for the British against the Ottomans. Is that what you're saying? The Palestinians.
I'm not pro-Ottoman, first of all.
We know
Okay.
that the Saudis, what then later became Saudi Arabia, the British made a deal with the Saudis. Can you show me where the Palestinians fought for the British in World War I? Give me an example.
I'm not pro-Ottoman. I will not defend the Ottoman Empire. It was decrepit.
No, but you said it now. You said the Palestinians fought for the British in World War I.
I think we all remember the. We all remember the Turkish cockchain, the homosexuality in.
Now you're jumping to something else. Now you're jumping to homosexuality when I caught you out. The Palestinians never fought for the British in World War I. They fought for some Palestinians fought for a regiment, the guerrilla operations in North Africa under a Command Unit 51, but against Germans that were in Africa, not against Muslims. So can you explain or show me where they murdered Muslim soldiers and Muslim armies and Muslim people? Where did the Palestinians murder Muslims? Can you show me where?
Okay, yes, I can. Look, you need to understand that these covert operations are never recorded. A lot of intelligence operations, guerrilla, internal operations are never recorded. Okay, so there is, but the evidence suggests.
So if it's not recorded, it means it never happened because there's no evidence.
It happened. A lot of things were never recorded.
So where's the evidence?
A lot of things were never recorded. Okay,
so where is the evidence?
Now we need. Okay, the evidence is that. The Muslim Union soldiers were getting fired at by people not in the uniform, and there were British military, and then there were people in civilian clothes, and the Arabs were happy when the Muslim Union soldiers were killed and left. Yes, and then they liaised with the people, British, and allowed the settlers to come in, and they were selling the land.
Are you reading from
they were actually willfully selling the land. The Khazarian came in and they were selling the land themselves, and no one forced them to sell the land. Yeah, I mean, if you give me 10 times my house price and I don't want to move, I won't be moving. But they were willfully selling their soul, their land, their religion, and now they deserve it. The Arab elite is now living comfortably in Europe after selling their souls, and they've left the poor, the hapless. But the poor and the hapless are the people who were willfully compliant with the British, and they wanted the repatriation and salvation of the Arab lands, Levantine lands, away from the Muslim Union control, and they were happy about it. And that's what makes them the traitors, because Quran says, Imran Hussain told us that if you liaise with people who are, the NATO, and then you're not from the religion. So most of these people, their forefathers were traitors.
You're running again with so much. Here's the Muslims that fought in World War I for the Russian, Ottoman, and German armies.
The Muslims who fought for different variants.
Yeah. So can you show me, these are here for the Russian army, between 800,000 and 1.5 million Muslims from the Bashkir and Tatar regions fought in the Russian army. The Ottoman Empire fought in World War I. Palestine was under Ottoman rule. And the German army, convinced Germany to promote a jihad against the enemies of Germany and the Central Powers. That's in World War I. Now, in all of this, can you show me where the Palestinian ethnic minority were used at that stage by any group, by the British, to kill fellow Muslims? Can you show me anything? Okay. Because this is what AI shows. This is an AI overview based on what you've got online available. Yeah. Can you show me anything?
You're being very childish here. You are taking everything.
But you are the one that made the claim. Okay, but didn't you make the claim that the Palestinians deserve what is happening to them because they murdered fellow Muslims in World War I? Up to half an hour now, you haven't given me a single source for that claim. And then you're bringing out General Allenby and T. Lawrence. And
but I brought many things that you couldn't refute, and I converted.
I couldn't refute, but you haven't.
I converted you to my point of view more than.
What is there to refute? I'm asking you, what is there to refute? Come back. Come back, and
tell him not to do that again. I have actually
what is there to refute?
convinced you far more on my side than you could ever do to yours, and you're now beginning to understand the flaws of your disconnected, disjointed knowledge, and your sequence of information is very flawed. It's broken down, and you need to understand that you couldn't even put.
Can you give me evidence that happened?
Let's do it then. My statement is that whatever's happening to Palestine is divine punishment, is a jurisdiction from the heavens, because these people are children of the church.
Israelis are killing and raping Palestinians.
They're not raping; they're mutilating and torturing them. All right,
no,
mutilation,
torture. Last week and you denied it. We showed rape last week and you denied it. Come back.
Rape is not the same as torture and mutilation. Rape is a different complex phenomena. In the past pre-pill era, rape used to lead to childbirth. Now in the post-pill era, rape can lead to insemination and psycho.
Okay, so when Hind Rajab had 555 bullets drilled into her, was that part of the divine providence of Allah? Answer that question.
Okay, so what would you say about the Mongols? The Mongols came in and they butchered the Muslims throughout. Yes. Do you understand how the Muslims were butchered by the Mongols? Yeah, and that it was horrible. It was divine retribution. It was horrible, but that's what happened to Muslims.
Can you show me why? So you're justifying the genocide on the basis of divine providence? Am I correct?
I've never seen a podcast host so unprofessional from Coventry, who's
unprofessional.
No, not you. This guy, this fat guy from
divine providence. Am I correct?
This fat bastard from Coventry. He's putting me off the wheel repeatedly. He's an idiot.
My question is, come back with: are you justifying the massacre and the slaughter of the Palestinians on the basis of divine providence? A simple question. Come back and answer that question. Yes or no?
Yeah, yes, but you've got naked children in your life.
Oh, hold on. Which naked children you say I've got in my life? You want me to come and find you and get the police to arrest you? You want me to get the police to arrest you? You want me to get the police to arrest you? Come back and apologize for your comment, because
hang on, don't put me off again, all right, Mo. I'm going to find you in Coventry, kick your head in again. Number one, please don't put me off the wheel again.
No, you won't be able to kick his head. He's a boxer. You can't kick his head. He'll knock you out, and I'll also knock you out. You won't be able to kick his head. He's a boxer. So answer my question. Two questions. Number one, are you saying that the slaughter and the massacre and the genocide of Palestinians is due to divine providence? Number one. And number two, why is it that in half an hour you couldn't give me a single example of any report showing Palestinians, the forefathers of the present Palestinians, murdering any Muslims? Two questions. Can you answer, please? Come back and answer.
Yeah. Who was that naked boy who just popped in three times in your life? Who was it?
Now you see, you're a pedophile. You're exposing.
You're a dirty pedo. You've got naked children walking around you, yeah, and you're accusing others of sins.
You're saying there's a naked boy. There was no naked
dirty
boy.
Pervert. You ugly pervert.
Exposing yourself as a pedophile. Can you see? This is how the discussion goes. When you lose the debate, you come and lie and make up stories and talk about naked boys. I'm asking you two questions. Number one, which you haven't answered. Cut the side talk, because I'm exposing you and giving you a hiding for the second week in a row. Number one, you are saying that the slaughter of the Palestinians is due to the divine providence of Allah by virtue of the fact that the Palestinians killed other Muslims in the First World War. To date, and now we're going on to close to 45 minutes, you haven't given me a single source. Can you answer that question? Please give me a source or get out. It's a simple question. Give me the source or get out, because I'm going through everything and I haven't found anything, and you're justifying your position by suggesting that's part of the military intelligence personnel. It's not being openly disclosed. Well, in the absence of information, you've got no evidence. Nothing. So answer the question and stop pussyfooting around.
Stop fucking that.
1 hour. Answer the question. Bring him back, Mohammed, because I want to expose this fraud, this intellectual fraud, for what he is. Are you there? Is he there?
Yusuf, I can't let this guy on. He's too wild.
What did he say? What did he say? Was he swearing?
Yeah, of course he's swearing. He's swearing at Anam in the private chat. I can't have him on anymore, Yusuf.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I see that. I see that. Show that here. Show what he's saying, so people know what he's doing on the
I'll bring Anam. I'll bring him up. Anam and Anam can.
Yeah, but paste these images. This is the type of person we're dealing with. This pro-Zionist guy. Let people know what he's dealing with. He's attacking children. I think post what he said. Let him see this. Got 2 kids here, so he's just. I'm setting the boys back, but show what he's showing on the screen. I want people to know the type of person that he is. And you back on.
Back on the stage now, but as I do that, I will take some pictures, and it's not polite at all.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And so this is the kind of people that we're dealing with.
Yeah, you have more patience than me, brother. I think that was too much, and I mean,
look at the abuse that he's dealing with you. He's calling boys naked. I mean, this is I would be afraid to have children in front of him. But anyway, go ahead, brother.
No, I'm a little traumatized, a little bit from you dealing with him. Not even me. So
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But it's just I had the movie Lawrence of Arabia playing in my head the whole time because we were talking about General Allenby, and T.E. Lawrence and that whole drama in human history. It does.
You see the point I wanted to make, and he is justifying. Firstly, he's making the justification.
The generational stuff.
Divine. And then he's passing it on the sins of the fathers, if it did happen. And I mean, there were certainly some Arab leaders back then that were used by the British in some capacity. And then of course the Palestinians, some of them fought during the Second World War, not the First World War, the Second World War.
Let's put it onto the screen now, and I do apologize to everybody for putting, and I apologize for Anam, brother. I do apologize you were involved in that too. So please forgive me, of course. So let me just show some of the stuff that this Yusuf. Wallahi, akhi, this is the second time we've had him on. I don't think he needs to come back on again.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to come back on. I think this guy is a liar. This is him. This is the guy here. He's a liar and he's a scoundrel of no. And he's phoning me. Can you believe that? Here's it here. Lukman scammer. I mean, this is him. He's trying to phone. This guy's got no worth, no morality. He's abusive. And I think he's mentally disturbed. I honestly think he's mentally disturbed. This is him. This guy is. I think we need to just continue with the stream. And any questions you have, any points that you wanted to make in relation to what we had, because I think there's a point being made about some Muslim leaders being involved.
The historical discussion could have been a good discussion. Actually, it was actually some and.
You see, I'll have to block him. Because this guy. This is what you call trolls. This is what you call trolls. It's lucky we live and this is a podcast, but I had this kind of things. Those who are involved in dawah programs with Christians and so on don't get it's just strange that whenever you get involved in the Israeli-Palestinian saga or a political dispute of this nature, it always turns out in this fashion, and this is the reality. But yeah, look, there's an interesting book by Tom Segev that talks about Palestine and the British mandate, and then of course Benny Morris makes some discussion surrounding that. But I think, to blame or foist issues in the past on what is happening to Palestinians now, which is what he's attempting to do, is essentially the height of, it's ludicrous conduct. And I really think the guy is retarded and mentally disturbed completely. So if there's any comments.
Yeah, I would just say, so I studied World War II. It was probably I remember reading a lot of books about it when I was only in, I want to say 6th grade. And it was probably too much. Most of them were children's books, it was kind of abbreviated. The the type point is like, two sizes bigger because, but the thing is though, but we live in a post World War II world. And then
Indeed.
though, recently in the past year or two, I've become into World War I, because see, that war was just as pivotal, and just as, because you alluded it in the historical discussion you were having, the fact that three empires collapsed at the end of World War I. It was the Ottoman Empire, the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the Russian Empire. Basically, like it ended 1917 was the Russian Revolution. Well, I mean, so you would have never guessed that these three empires, and by the way, they were multinational empires. So you would have never guessed that these empires would have collapsed, and we would have had, the tornado, of the Balkans and Israel, Palestine, and India, Pakistan, and even Singapore, Malaysia, like wherever the Dutch and Vietnam and Dutch East Indies and French East Indies, like it was because Churchill didn't want to decolonize, and it happened anyway. FDR basically made him. Like America said, we're the new, daddy now. So, and I remember, so I was a political science major in college. So I was actually appreciate these discussions. I mean, the fringe theories aside. The thing is, in political science, we studied somebody wrote, I think he was an admiral in the British Navy, but he wrote that sea power is how countries, is how empires really hold the power. And once America became the dominant sea power, it truly became the world superpower. So it's very interesting that.
So that's what we've been discussing for now and in the past. I mean, history is always written by the victors. What can I say? The reality of the situation is that there doesn't seem to be any kind of end to what we're seeing. It is ongoing. It is continuous. And it appears to me that the latest situation, which we started off, this call for the generalist plan, the call for genocide and war crimes. I mean, and of course, the Israeli lawmakers now calling on the military to destroy food, water. It goes to a level where this kind of push for a more aggressive stance, to what they call this kind of 5-point strategy that the Israelis want to now engage in. It's got nothing to do with Hamas. It's got nothing to do with getting the hostages back. And apparently, it appears to me that the military commanders themselves are saying that, look, the hostages are not, in a manner of speaking, the primary objective or the primary goal at this particular point in time. The goal appears to be just, destruction for the sake of destruction. And when you've got, for example, the Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee, part of the Israeli Knesset, which serves as a kind of a oversight body for military operations, and then they essentially give a go-ahead to say, do everything that you have to do, then it's basically a blanket check. You see, I think the problem that we've got now is that, like you find, for example, in the Iraqi war or the invasion of Iraq, or the invasion of Iraq by the United States and the United Kingdom or the Allies and so on, that the general argument was that when war crimes were committed, you never had a situation where we know Blair and Bush are theoretically war criminals, but we never had a situation where they would openly justify killing for the sake of killing. They talk about weapons of mass destruction. They talk about the aim of getting Saddam Hussein rid of. And, of course, the killings that you'd see would be justified on the basis of collateral damage and so on. We reach a stage now in Israeli society, it appears, that Knesset members within the cabinet, they're becoming more emboldened in their proclamations, to the extent that they're no longer hiding what their intention is. And I don't know whether you see that as the inevitability of what we were pointing out a couple of months back, Anam and Brother Muhammad, in relation to that. But whilst I'm at it, there's something I wanted to show. This is from about, I think, 12 days ago, where Dr. Ghassan Abu Sita basically shows the destruction of the total health system. I mean, there's always talk about the fact that there's something there, but it appears to me there's nothing there. There's nothing anymore left in Gaza. There's nothing anymore left in terms of the health, in terms of hospital care. We had the famous doctor, I forget his name, Abu Safia, Dr. Abu Safia, basically. We don't know his whereabouts now. I mean, and he's being kept, he's being tortured in all probability, and people are speaking about him. I think he was involved in pediatrics. And now, I mean, you've got Israeli-American historians, like, for example, there's one that describes the fact that Israel now looks like Hiroshima. I mean, for an Israeli-American historian on genocide to make that claim must be something. This is a video. It's just a few minutes. I just want to share this with the stream here. And what's his name? What's the name of this Israeli-American historian? Umar Batov. Umar Batov. He's at Brown University. He's an Israeli-American historian. He's a professor of Holocaust and genocide studies at Brown University. This is about a week ago, I think 2 weeks ago, where he clearly describes the fact that the Gaza is indeed a war of annihilation. It's no longer about getting the hostages. It's no longer about destroying. I mean, it is partly about destroying Hamas, but it's more than that. It's about destroying the entire region, the entire land. So I just want to share this video. We haven't showed much videos here because we've had sideshows this evening with nutcases and trolls. But this is a video which I think is interesting. If it's loud enough, let's see if you can hear it. Umar Batov.
So there are obviously some guerrilla units here and there that may pop up and fire a rocket at a tank, and if they're lucky, then they kill some soldiers. But generally, there is no war anymore. What the IDF is doing there is destroying Gaza. So the soldiers, those that I hear about, those that I've heard reports about, one thing I would say is that many of them, when they come out, mostly reserve soldiers, whatever their opinion is about what's happening, say that it's absolutely incredible, that they have never seen and could never imagine such devastation. People use imagery like they speak, it looks like Hiroshima, it looks like Germany at the end of World War II. The whole area is completely destroyed. And there are horrific accounts of bodies rotting, being eaten by dogs, of soldiers shooting at anyone who moves in particular areas. Now, soldiers may still think, and we don't know how many of them, they may still think that they're fighting for a just cause. But the point of it is that there is no real resistance anymore. And the question is then, what is this war about? What is it trying to accomplish? And on the ground, what you're seeing is it's actually a war of annihilation of the entire Gaza Strip, with a particular focus on the northern part of it, north of the so-called Netzarim corridor, which is no longer a corridor, it's really a square. And similarly in the south, in the area that borders Egypt, the so-called Philadelphia corridor, which is also expanding constantly into Rafah and destroying it. And the population is being run around from one place to another to so-called safe zones, which are then being bombed and shelled by the IDF. So this is the reality on the ground. In early May 2024, the IDF decided to move into Rafah, into the southernmost city in the Gaza Strip, despite the US telling him not to do so, because there were about 1 million displaced civilians there who had been displaced because the IDF told them to go there for their own safety. And the IDF went in anyway and moved those hundreds and hundreds of thousands of civilians one more time. Many of them were displaced by then for a third, fourth, fifth time to a beach area, to the Mawasi area, which is along the beach, without any infrastructure at all. And then went on.
Just to stop, the Mawasi area was the area which even the Israeli ambassador to the UK in the BBC interviews and in Channel 4, what's her name, Zvai Hovatelli, I can't recall her name, was mentioning Mawasi area, which is a wasteland. But when they went to the Mawasi area, they were then bombing them and striking them. And again, the excuse was Hamas, human shields, and all of that.
Proceeded to destroy much of Rafah, which it's still in the process of doing. So at that point, I started looking back, going back to the statements that were made by Israeli politicians and leaders at the beginning of the war, as you recall, which were genocidal statements, but one could have said were made in the heat of the.
And that's the whole point, that these were indeed genocidal statements made at the beginning of the war. And we pointed that out. That's what this whole streams have been about. And now they're asking for more. They're saying it's not enough.
Moment, as the blood was boiling, as they said in Israel, and to look what happened. And if you look at the pattern of what the IDF has been doing, not only has it been moving the population around, and every safe zone that it ends up in tends to get also bombed and shelled and attacked from the air, but also systematically destroying universities, schools, mosques, museums, anything that makes, and hospitals, of course, anything that makes for the health and also the culture of a group. And therefore, by now, we have a population that is being completely debilitated, with vast numbers of people suffering, those who are alive, suffering from skin diseases, from intestinal diseases, lack of food, lack of water. There's been systematic destruction of desalination plants, not enough supply of water coming in from Israel, no energy. And so it looks like that the goal is to make Gaza uninhabitable for its population, and those who survive. The hope, I think, of many Israeli policymakers in this government, which is very right-wing, is that eventually there will be calls for humanitarian aid to those people to remove them from that area, which they cannot live in, to other places, and therefore cleanse it entirely of the Palestinian population.
And that's it. That's basically ethnic cleansing in real time. And this is basically Umar Batov. Umar Batov is a professor of genocide studies at Brown University in the United States, and you heard it from the expert directly. So, when you in murder, I deal with common law, and in murder, one of the things are when somebody is killed. If you kill someone, there could be many reasons why somebody's killed. You could be killing them in self-defense, killing them by an accident, if you knock them over by an accident. But to show that it is murder, there has to be an intent, deliberate intent. And intent can be shown in the actions. So, for example, when someone is walking down the road and you shoot them dead, you don't have to say, look, my intention is to kill you. That's quite clear. Why are you just shooting someone who's of no harm to you? No self-defense can be raised, nothing. That's essentially what we've got in Gaza. Is not only can intent be shown through the actions of the Israeli soldiers, which is so appalling and so extreme. And I think even Anam in one of the past streams have said that they've gone beyond what they've done before. Not only in the actions, and they've used AI technology, so they know exactly who they're targeting. AI technology tells them exactly who they're targeting, but also in terms of their of the statements which we've now shown. The statements, you can't deny those statements. There's no way getting around those particular statements that these particular Israelis have used from inception, and that basically that they've been using now, where they're essentially asking for total annihilation and total destruction against the Palestinians. This is the article that I wanted people to see. We showed this a number of times, but I mean, every time we get new people on the stream, I'm trying to look at the Human Rights Watch covered it, Vox covered it, Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, Washington Post covered it, Time Magazine covered it, Israel's use of AI. But the source of this comes from an investigative magazine in Israel. I think it was called Yedioth Aronot or another magazine. I can't seem to get that magazine's name. It's on the tip of my tongue. Israel's use of AI to form and kill and bomb magazine. But I mean, Lavender, I think it was 972 magazine. This was the article here. This was the original investigative article, which I want people to study, those that have not studied. This was published some time back. It was published, I think, in April last year. We spent some time going into this, and every single major news outlet. So it's here. This is the article here. Here we are. 972 magazine, an excellent magazine. This is the link on top. If you can see it on my screen, 972.com. Lavender, the AI machine directing Israel's bombing spree. The Israeli army has marked tens of thousands of Gazans as suspects for assassination, using an AI targeting system with little human oversight and permissive policy for casualties. So you can't even make the argument. You can't even make the argument of collateral damage. It's a lengthy article in Plus 972 magazine. So type in 972 magazine, Israel's AI machine Lavender. This is by Yuval Abrahams. This is the translation written in Hebrew, and phenomenal article, which really details that even the AI technology is called Go Daddy, Where's Daddy, meaning when Daddy's home and with his family, you then can target him with the family. In fact, it goes on to say at its peak, the system managed to generate 37,000 people as potential human targets. Imagine that. And they worked with the internal ministry where we only checked that the target was a man. So 972 magazine is an investigative magazine linking. It's done in Israel, and it blew this out. It blew this out completely. The justifications were that, look, Lavender and systems like Where's Daddy were combined with deadly theft, killing entire families. By adding a name to say Where's Daddy, home tracking system, the marked person will be placed under ongoing surveillance and could be attacked as soon as they set foot in their home. So when they're in their home, they're with their families, and when you kill them, then they collapse the entire house and everyone inside. They usually carried the attacks with dumb bombs, so it means it killed everybody in that particular vicinity. And now it's been used, I don't know if you can see the link, but Google, there's almost every single major news outlet, Business Insider, Democracy Now!, Human Rights Watch, The Guardian, YouTube Democracy Now!, The Conversation, Times of India, Time Magazine, Responsible Statecraft. It goes on into discussing this at length. The Gospel. There's another AI technology called the Gospel, how Israel uses AI to select bombing targets. So it's deliberate. It's specific. Israeli army, Le Monde, uses AI to identify tens of thousands of targets. I mean, even on the assumption, if in terms of the laws of war, if a combatant is not engaged in any kind of attack against you, you can't just kill him for the sake of killing him. If he's bound and tied up, as many of these people were, and they had bullet wounds to their head, how do you can't, it's a crime, it's a war crime. Al Jazeera's AI-assisted genocide, killing with AI. So, you're talking about something that is on the level of an Orwellian structure. I don't know, there was a movie some years back that was made by the Wachowski brothers called V for Vendetta. Phenomenal book, a phenomenal movie, but based on a comic. I think they call themselves, they call them illustrative comics, which is like a kind of a story. It's got a story and it's got illustration. I forget what the name of it is called, V for Vendetta. But dealing with a kind of society which is so Orwellian. And the point is that Israeli society, whatever, even those who supported Israel in the traditional sense, some of the traditional supporters of Israel are now seeing this Orwellian society, this fascist society that has got absolutely no, that has got no restraint in what they're doing, no compunction. I don't know how much more longer it's going, but we are certainly going to go ahead and talk. And I mean, we have had a lot of supporters. We've had a lot of naysayers, a lot of abuse over the past 7 months. We thank you, Anam, for coming on. We've always been respectable, and even though we've disagreed many times, but we will continue to discuss. Wa alaikum salam. Who do we have there?
Alaikum salam, Brother Yusuf. SubhanAllah. What you've been saying, SubhanAllah, just to touch on the last point that you said about like how brainwashed the people are taking side of those of Israel and all these kind of Zionists. But the thing what shocked me most is honestly the people inside Israel, the civilians, right? Because I've seen this, and everyone's seen this, of course. But there's this video about this with this YouTuber or this TikToker, I don't know, very famous, because of he started really like he's Palestinian but in America, and he started doing like a lot of things for Palestine, like against videos and all that kind of thing, like a lot of awareness, etc., etc. And he gained a really, really big platform because of doing that. And that what shocked me really, and it was very, very disgusting, really, I literally felt sick to my stomach when I watched this, because I was always assuming there's still good people, and there's like always a majority of good people who are like, but subhanallah, to tell you in short, there's this other app, I don't know what it is called, but it is apparently a new app where you can select a region and you put on your camera, and then it's like, you click on a button, and then random people come on, and then you can have a discussion, or you can. And this guy did like an episode like of 100 people from Israel, so all kinds of people, like kids to IDF soldiers to families together sitting with their father and everyone together, all these kind of things. And he was and they recognized him because he was very famous. They saw him, they knew him for what he was doing, and every time that they were like subhanallah, the disgust that came out of their mouth, like so proud of saying you, like the first thing they saying, you Palestinian or Israel, you vote for Israel over Palestine, you love Israel or you love Palestine. And the moment the guy says, listen, I'm Palestinian, I mean, what do you want me to say? And they start like saying, like with this kind of subhanallah, this kind of brainwashed rot that they have in their brains, like as if these people are nothing, like Palestinians, they're gonna kill them all and all these kind of things. Astaghfirullah. And subhanallah, the brainwash that is happening inside their own, some even like literally like say nonsense, like they like as if they have learned about the history of the beginning of the Palestinian and its history when it was being taken over, and when it was being like divided and all these kind of things. And subhanallah, these I started asking the question, what are they teaching them? Because they looked so convincing in what they're telling about what they know. Like each time the Palestinian brother was saying like, okay, why do you kill all these kind of people, and why, and this, and then they only went to like the 7th of October, and then they went to like, we are being persecuted, and you should save us, and all these kind of things. And every time he asked them like, why would they save you, from who? And they couldn't answer. And it was like, subhanallah, could you like, I don't know, enlighten us a little bit more on how and do they really like educate a completely wrong history in their schools and all these kind of things, to like their own media and all these kind of things? Is it really like, are they so excluded from all these national, international newspapers and articles that you have been showing for all this time and all these years?
Well,
Sorry,
I mean,
it went a bit long, but okay.
yeah, no, that's fine. There's been a lot of talk about that. I think the one person that that mentioned what you mentioned about the Israelis having lack of empathy was an Israeli journalist, I think the editor of Haaretz, Gideon Levi, who's quite regularly on Al Jazeera. Gideon Levi is, is an activist, he's a human rights activist. And of course, you've got organizations like B'Tselem that have made the point that Israeli society, for example, have limitations in terms of what they see. There's a rabbi that I was going to get on the stream from Israel, but he turned it down because I've had programs with him in the past on religion and so on. But he made the point to me, and I don't want to mention his name. He mentioned specifically that he doesn't want his name to be mentioned because it can impact his security and all of that. That in Israel, they don't see the imagery and the images that we get to see. So Al Jazeera is totally blocked out. The killings and the social media. I mean, they may possibly getting some sort of social media accounts, but the news reports, which people in Africa, South Africa, and probably in the United Kingdom, I don't know how much you're exposed to in the US, get to see, they don't see. So Israeli children, in a sense, have been, long indoctrinated into believing that Palestinians are less than human and they're not worthy of empathy and not worthy of any kind of what you call this support, and that they are less than human. In November in 2023, I don't know if I showed this video, whether this stream will be shut down, but we played a song just at the beginning of the genocide called the Israel's Children's Song. Did you hear that, brother? Did you hear that that song which was shown on Israeli state TV? You heard that?
Yeah, I did.
We played it. If I play it now, I can get it played, but it's possible that YouTube may just shut this channel down because they removed it from YouTube. But the public broadcaster, Khan, they uploaded that song, singing a a song that was celebrating the country's attack on the Palestinians. This was, I think, sometime in November, December 2023. So after a lot had already happened, and they were talking about, destroying the Nazis. In a few months back, we will be back. We will get our children. And these are children singing it. Children will be coming back. There have been a lot of studies that have been conducted. And there were studies reported done. And I need to go back to the article that Hebrew language children's books published in Israel between 1967 and 1985, they contain humiliating negative descriptions of the Palestinian people. There are reports which
so it's an active campaign, as you're saying. So it's
an active educational campaign. I mean, 66% to 70% of the about 520 books or 600 books that are part of the curriculum, they always accuse Hamas of propaganda, but in actual fact, it's every accusation is a confession. About the 500 to 600 books that they have, they refer to the Arabs as violent. They refer to them as evil, as greedy, as two-faced, as traitors. There's always talk about the Holocaust. There's always negative descriptions. In fact, there's a video. I don't know if you've seen a famous video on YouTube where, and we're going to end the stream now. So, I don't want to go on for too long. We had a bit of a stream. Israeli children taught to hate, and Israeli children taught to kill and hate. And I think it's in Hebrew, but let me see if I can get that particular clip. The children basically teaching to hate. I'm going to try and open the stream. Let me open this here. Let me try and open this. Here we are. This is Saturday at the museum. This is by a journalist called Noah Cohen. I'm gonna try and share this moment. Let's make this probably one of the last videos to show. I'm gonna share the screen here. Let me share this. Israeli children taught to hate. And now this is an interview being conducted. Just listen to this. I think it's in Hebrew, in English. Listen. Saturday at the museum. Watch this.
שבת בבוקר, יום יפה, אמא שותה המון קפה, אפשר ללכת לירקון ולשוב שם בזירה. או לטייל לתוך החוף ולשוב בחזרה.
פעם ראשונה שלך פה?
הייתי בטנדור.
זה בוי.
הראיתי לכם את הכלי נשק, נכון? את הרובה, את המאג, את ה-05, מקלעים, נכון? מרגמה, הסברתם מה זה רימון.
זה פעם ראשונה שלך במקום הזה? ואתה אוהב את המקום?
יש לנו כאן את המרכבה שהיא תפארת המדינה שלנו. פה הייתי פעם שנייה כבר בחיל השריון, יד השריון, חיל הים הייתי באשדוד, מצודת יואב, מורשת של חיל גבעתי.
מה, כשאתה לוקח רימון ביד, איך מפעילים אותו?
אתה פותח את הפקק ואז זורק אותו את המצרח, ואז אתה זורק אותו לעבר האויב.
ומה הבעיה?
בצבא בחיל גבעתי, בעורב.
הוא היה בגבעתי. ומה אתה רוצה להיות?
גם, להמשיך אותו.
אני חושבת שאני אהיה חיילת קרבית.
כן?
שריון.
אז אתה רוצה להיות תותחן שתהיה גדול? אתה רוצה להיות בתותחנים?
כן.
ואיפה אתה רוצה להיות?
בחיל האוויר, לראות טילים מהאוויר.
אני איפה, ספיירינג מיסייל
כשאתם נמצאים על הטנק, אתם מדמיינים משהו?
הם כאילו מלחמה ויורים על הטנק ומנסים לפגוע בי.
מה דמיינת?
שאני הורגת אנשים.
What did you imagine that I was killing people?
מדים בצבע חום ירוק. ערבים.
Arabs.
אני מדמיין שכל פעם אני רואה מולי ערבי מת, זה ממש שמח
I picture a dead Arab and that makes me happy.
אותי כבר יותר.
ומה אתה מדמיין שאתה נמצא על טנק?
כלום. ערבים שרוצים אחריי, שרוצים להרוג
Arabs
אותי.
chasing me, they want to kill
על
me.
הטנק, יורה בכולם, טק 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 טק, הורגת את כולם? איך הרגש?
הרגשתי מאושרת.
I felt happy.
איפה בצבא היית רוצה לשרת? בצפון, בשטחים, בעזה, ביהודה ושומרון?
לבנון, הייתי הכי רוצה בלבנון.
איפה היית רוצה להילחם?
בעזה.
אבל עכשיו החזרנו את לבנון, אז אין לנו מלחמה בלבנון.
לא נורא, נחזיר אותם לשם עוד פעם.
אתה מקווה שעד שאתה תהיה חייל, תהיה לנו מלחמה כבר עם לבנון עוד פעם.
כן.
מה נראה לך הנשק שאיתו אפשר להרוג הכי הרבה?
המרכבה סימן 4. זה טנק תוצרת הארץ קודם כל, אחד הטנקים הטובים בעולם. יצא כולה לפני שנתיים.
וכמה אנשים אתה חושב שאתה תצליח להרוג שתהיה חייל?
85.
ואתה רוצה להיות
How
בצבא
many
שתהיה
people do you
גדול?
think you'll kill? 85. 85 people you want to kill. I mean, this is your future, your ambition.
85.
ואתה רוצה להיות בצבא שתהיה גדול? לא רוצה להיות. למה אתה לא
Don't
רוצה
wanna be.
להיות?
שלא היו בי.
ואתה חושב שבצבא מסוכן שזה יכול לקרות? ולא מפחיד אותך להילחם בעזה שזה הכל סמטאות קטנות?
לא. לא מפחיד. כי אם יראו בי, יש לי חברים שיעזרו לי. אומרת שאני צריך לאכול הרבה. כי עכשיו אני כל הזמן גדל.
אבל זה לא נכון.
So that's it. I mean, that's basically
if
what
an Arab,
you have.
Brother Yusuf, if an Arab would have said that, a little child, they would have said, "Oh, jihadists grooming. They're raising jihadists and astaghfirullah. You know, this is disgusting. Honestly, I don't know.
think electronic intifada won't get us out. I just want to see here. This is something that just in terms of what you are raising. Hold on. Yes, it is. This was in the electronic intifada that still had it. It still had it some time back. I don't know if this can be played here. This was a song that was showed. Again, I need to bring the stream to an end quickly. But this was a song that was showed on the electronic intifada. Captured it, but it was removed from YouTube. So this is a website. Israeli children singing. We will annihilate everyone in Gaza. This is about 19 November 2023. So it's quite into the genocide itself. And this is what they were singing. Look at this. I just want to expand this, if it still plays. This is created by the Israeli public relations firm Rosenbaum. It's 3 minutes communications. And the subtitles, national television. 3 minutes. Planes are bombing, destruction. To annihilate the swastika bearers? What are you talking about? Is this Second World War? This is what you view the Palestinians as? Another year there will be nothing left. And then we will return to plow our fields in Gaza. Are the pretty and the pure? That's Nazi talk. That's Aryan talk. We'll show the world today how today we destroy our enemies. What is called? You couldn't make this up. The Friendship Song, produced by Rosenbaum Communication. It created such a stink that YouTube had to remove it. YouTube had to remove it. Anyone who posted it on, in other words, on its own, they had their channel getting a strike in relation to that. It was then removed by the have I lost you? It was then removed by the Israeli military and, of course, the Israeli government that basically stated that this is now creating a kind of a negative vibe. But these are children singing this, calling it Friendship Song. I mean, you couldn't make this up.
This is to me. It looks like, you know, this whole all these kind of brainwashed, indoctrinated little human beings. They're being raised as pure Zionists, like literally
Absolutely.
from birth.
Absolutely.
May Allah guide them, inshallah, ya Rab. I mean, and may Allah punish everyone according to how they deserve. And but this shouldn't affect anything in the sense of us still bringing up, making dua for the Palestinians, for our brothers and sisters, because, you know, they may do whatever they want. They may have anything they have. They may have the power, the guns and bombs and all these kind of things, but they may have the drones. But above them is Allah, and Allah and Allah is the best of planners. So they can, subhanAllah, you know, how ignorant can they be, thinking that no one is above them to, like, deciding their fate. Like, don't you think, Brother Yusuf, like, don't they feel that an end is coming to that? Like, this is not something that is possible to be doing forever.
I think basically we are reaching that stage that essentially the Israeli society is self-destroying itself before our very eyes. I mean, you've got a leader that's basically wanting to stay in power at all costs, because if he goes, he's going to end up in jail. And the reality of the situation is that we're seeing a mass exodus from Israel itself, a mass exodus, people leaving Israel like never before. And the reality of the situation is that they are destroying themselves by virtue of their actions. I mean, the Palestinian resistance is stronger than ever. And what you essentially find at this juncture is it's Israel that's losing. It's Israel that's losing extensively at every juncture, at every level. And I think at the end of the day, Israel, I mean, the one thing that is quite clear is that nobody will see Israel in the way it has. The Israeli propaganda, the Israeli Hasbara, that for a long, long time held a control over the mass media, that's fallen aside. It's no longer there. The propaganda is not as powerful as it is. Alternative media has basically destroyed it. And even mainstream media to an extent has come on board because they can't hide some of these atrocities.
Yeah, they're clutching at straws.
The Guardian, when you see even the BBC, which has been criticized as being somewhat lenient and lax, has been criticized by the far right for talking about the Israeli genocide that's taking place. So for the rest of its life, whether for the rest of its memory and our living memory, we don't know how long we have, and we don't know what the International Court of Justice will basically rule. Israel will forever be associated with genocide. That's a reality. It's the only nation in the 21st century that's name has been tarnished now with genocide. Whenever you talk about genocide, people will be thinking about Israel. And I think from an ideological point of view, because the Zionists have had ideological stranglehold over society for decades now, that is powerful. That is powerful. That the world itself has turned against Israel. They're just one or two leaders. The leaders basically don't matter. But the world itself has turned against Israel. And you can see the Israeli defense is so weak, so feckless, not just at the highest level, but even at the lowest level that we see on platforms like this, where you've got nutcases and extremists coming on. You can't even make a decent argument. And what they can do is resort to abuse and trolling and that kind of thing. So we will continue on this platform, help the channel grow by becoming a subscriber, both the Coventry Faith Foundation and the South African Debate Initiative. Share the channel with others in the United Kingdom and other parts. We will get, as information comes all the time, we will keep the viewers updated. And we thank you for your support, brother. Thank you for your support.
Jazakallah khair, Brother Yusuf. Thank you for everything. And it was a great show today. Unfortunately, except for the 45-year-old virgin in his mother's basement drinking Red Bull and war games and thinks he's like an economy professor or whatever, etc. But alhamdulillah, brothers and sisters, keep our brothers and sisters in Palestine in our prayers, and let's learn from them. Wallah, our iman should be like them. It's an example for us. And give if you can to help them. It's the winter. It's getting really cold. Even for us, it's getting cold with the heating at home. There they don't, so everything helps. And Jazakallahu khair. And Brother Yusuf, thank you again for everything. Keep doing the good work. And Brother Muhammad as well. Brother Muhammad I think he's looking for his car keys, because he's going to go and drive to see the rats and give him like a bash of the head in.
Okay, take care, brother. We will keep in touch. Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum. So that's all we have for this evening, folks. There's just one thing I want to share, Brother Muhammad, before we end the stream. This is a list of books for those who want to read books. Love reading, but if you can't, we'll get you the books. These are books by the Israeli historian Ilan Pape. The prices there from Takealot, that's South African prices, but they would be available in the UK. We've got all these books. We have all these books. Myself, I think Brother Muhammad may. I've got all these books on electronic format. So if you want them, let us know. These are books by Ilan Pape, The Ethnic Cleansing, the Biggest Prison on Earth, The Forgotten Palestinians, a very short history of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Get these books if you want to kind of arm yourself with information and use this information out there in the public domain, on social media, on WhatsApp, at Speaker's Corner, wherever you go. Extract material from there and use it. Use it to confront the propaganda, and share the stream. Share the stream. Edit the stream if you want to. Use clips from this particular stream. There's no copyright. Till next time, we will continue these particular streams. This time, Brother Muhammad had to be in the background. But till then, wherever you are, in whichever part of the world you are in, we wish you the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. And keep up the struggle. Share the stream. And we hope to see you again soon. So till then, fi amanillah. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Till next time.